Somebody save me. It's been so long living in hell.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. Been dreaming about flying for a long time. Of this illusion, I am not really here. I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink. Wake up, oh, I will never ever fall, never stumble.
The deception and corruption that are existing on our planet today. Okay? There's a lot of disillusion going on. I want to dispel some of this stuff immediately when the elites are running their programs and they have these huge propaganda campaigns going on. You have to understand that we are not going to fall for this bullshit any longer, guys. Okay? We're not talking about us versus them as far as like one religion against another religion or one ideology against another ideology. It is every single human being on this planet versus the elites. Period. Okay? So do not fall victim to the levels of propaganda that's going on. And here's a special message to anyone who is involved with these conspiracies, anyone who is involved with these false flags, anyone who is involved with any of the crap that's going on in our world today. If you are part of this system and you are implementing these tactics against humanity, you are now an enemy of all that is good. Okay? And I want you to understand that there is going to be a price for you to pay, quite possibly in this lifetime. Okay? If not the next lifetime. With that being said, I want to jump right into the weather modification programs. It's part of the war games that are being conducted against humanity right now. We're going to get into that. We're going to break a lot of shit down in this particular episode. Okay, but I do want to start off by saying that we just released this special broadcast the other day concerning Jones's Plantation. Okay, you can find that over there at St. John Penuel Chidester III's YouTube channel. Okay, it's in there. We've got a couple other things that you guys can pay attention to and get involved with. But that's what's going on, guys. And you know, like, these are the solutions for what you see playing out in real time on the news today. Okay, so let's get out of there real quick. We're not going to waste too much time with that. Let's get right into The Wire, because The Wire has some great stuff today that you guys have to see. You have to see this. It's huge. Okay.
This is The Wire for 1600 Zulu, October 12, 2023. Precedence is routine. The information cutoff date is 1500 Zulu, October 12, 2023. Bottom line up front. Israel strikes Damascus and Aleppo. Palestine declares October 13th Global Day of Jihad. Starting with international events. On the Middle Eastern front, Israel expands the conflict by conducting preemptive strikes in the heart of Syria, with IDF officials confirming future strikes to take place over the next few days. The Damascus-Aleppo airports were taken out of action in these strikes. Israel continues bombing campaign of Gaza with the goal of total annihilation as described by IDF officials. Israeli defense officials have vowed to turn Gaza into a tent city with no structure left standing. Israeli strikes in Lebanon continue as harassing fires originate from border skirmishes. Various Lebanese Hezbollah subgroups have declared a general mobilization. Thousands of Egyptian Bedouin fighters stage on the Egyptian border with Gaza with the intent to join the war. Iranian IRGC ground forces reportedly making movement towards the Iraq border, though this is not confirmed at this time. Palestine declares a global day of jihad scheduled for Friday, October the 13th. Many claims of demonstrations and more violent actions are planned to reach a zenith tomorrow as users on social media announce planned demonstrations in most U.S. cities as well as throughout Europe. United States Carrier Strike Group 12 remains on station, Eastern Med. 101st Airborne preparing for mobilization, allegedly to a remote FOB in Israel. No further information on this at this time. The HMS Queen Elizabeth Carrier Strike Group is making preparations for a possible deployment to the Middle East. The U.S. State Department reaffirms the standard policy of charging fees for rescue flights. The Department of State will offer emergency evacuation for Americans stranded in Israel, but will only rescue citizens if they sign a promissory note obligating citizens to repay rescue costs. Despite common thought to the contrary, this is a standard State Department policy. On the home front, in the United States, online rhetoric and threats of violence peak in anticipation of the global day of jihad tomorrow. Demonstrations in support of Palestine are planned for most major U.S. cities. Analyst comments for this wire. Despite many claims of atrocities being walked back as no evidence surfaces, truth is no longer able to stop this war from escalating. Based on the public rhetoric of IDF officials and Israel's military actions so far, there is zero chance of proportional response. The lines are beginning to blur between what Israel considers to be Hamas and the Palestinian population. Based on IDF official statements so far, it is highly likely that Israel intends to totally eradicate every Palestinian from Gaza. Talks are allegedly already underway with Egypt and other nations to take in the survivors and refugees that remain. Palestinian threats of a global jihad are genuine and intertwine civil disruption operations with more deliberate terror attempts. As such, any and all demonstrations remain high-risk events. Heightened situational awareness is strongly recommended over the next few days as the risk of lone wolf attacks or even sleeper cell activations is increased. Due to American support to Israel, attacks on American citizens abroad are highly likely, as are random attacks within the United States. There is no specific evidence of more coordinated attacks on the horizon, though as this operation was clearly being planned for at least a year, more sophisticated terror attacks on the home front are a possibility. This concludes the Wire report for 1600 Zulu, October 12, 2023.
I want to thank S2 Underground for putting together such a great report in such a short amount of time. Excellent. Excellent work, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for being involved on the level that you're involved. Okay. There's a few things that he's leaving out. Now, I'm going to tell you guys that there were strikes within Syria, okay, and Turkey as well. Iran is getting involved. They're all getting involved. The common interest between all of these nations is gasoline and oil. We are about to go into the cold winter that they've been preparing us for with their propaganda the past couple years. What I want you guys to do is make sure that you have a proper, if you're in a colder region, okay, or semi-cold region, because they're going to be using the weather weapons against us to make it even colder than it's been. Okay, I want you guys to make sure that you have a plan to keep you and your family safe and warm this season. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. My guesstimates are it's very simple. We're looking at $30 to $60 a gallon by Thanksgiving, if the dollar holds strong still. And there's a lot of things on the horizon that show that the dollar may collapse at any moment. So we have to take into consideration these things as well. Okay, I want to do a special shout out to Professor Doom. Okay, he's turned us on to some enlightening information. We're going to get into that real quick right here. It's very important.
Everybody, Professor Doom here, and I put up a video earlier today showing you guys about this document and just showing you all that they told us many decades ago. As I pointed out right there in number 65, Venezuelan and Colombian troops. And isn't it interesting that all of these Venezuelans are being shipped up to New York? But I got some videos for you, and you know what?
We're going to get into that a little bit more in detail, but he's the one that turned me on to this information. I do recall and remember these maps from years past. It's just amazing how it's all playing out in real time, okay? So we're going to get right over here. Let's just jump over here real quick to this this other video that he has, because it's huge, guys. You got to see this. You got to see this. Where we at? Professor Doom. Let's make sure we get in there. Okay, so right here. We're going to talk about this for one second.
Professor Doom here. So a lot of interesting information to share with you. A lot of unconfirmed reports about Iran sending some kind of missile armaments to locations in Iran. Now, it's hard to confirm because these are being posted on social media platforms such as Twitter, TikTok, and stuff like that. That's, they're very questionable as far as the information that's being presented. Is it actually from the date that they're claiming? Those are some of the issues that we have in presenting some of the information, especially me doing so on my channel here. But I'm just going to speak on it for the moment. But there's something interesting about this post here that I think to myself.
What he's going to broadcast here is kind of big. It's kind of a big deal, guys. Like, if this is real, and I want you to take into consideration the things that we've seen going on over the past couple of months with this huge migration of immigrants into the United States, okay? You got Chinese coming in from the north. You've got Venezuelans and others coming in from the south, okay? And the rumor is that they're handing out, and there's documentation and videos circulating that they're handing out cards with several $1,000s on the cards. Plus, they're arriving and they're being promised jobs and opportunities which do not even exist for the localized population of citizens in this country right now. So here.
Lot of refugees came and said, I was commandeered by the office of 10 Downing Street to rehome refugee families, which I agreed.
This is in London, but it's probably going on everywhere, guys.
There was not one woman, there was not one child. The people that turned up were men from the age of 19 to 30, I would say.
Military age.
I have enough room for about 250 residents. I currently house 150 immigrants. Yes, I did receive quite a large sum of money for doing so. On doing so, the government told me that I had to fire all my staff and they will supply their own, and also that they will supply security guards for the breakfast.
So he gets into some details about it, but I'll give you the gist. The gist is that this individual received several shipments of crates, and he allegedly cracked these crates open to find weaponry, ammunition, and other wartime supplies. This was in London, okay? We have stuff going on in New York City right now where there's the mass exodus into New York City of the immigration people that are coming in from all different aspects of the world. They're coming into our land, okay? And they're being housed, they're being provided subsidies and goods okay? And the speculation, okay, is that this particular map that he showed, which I'm going to get into over here, let me see. Here's the map here, okay? I know it's a little hard to read and articulate what's on the map, but there's different regions that are being shown inside of this map, okay? For the southern portion of the United States, it says 64. For the northeast corridor of the United States, it's saying 65, which is Venezuela, 64, which is Russia. Okay, then you've got 63 out here. They're coming, guys. They're coming with their troops that they are now housing and arming. Okay, so I don't know if they're going to be pushing the buttons on these false flags, but there are, and they're, like I said before, the term false flag is gone now. We're not even going to utilize the term false flag any longer, because these aren't drills. These are live actions against humanity. Okay, so with this particular map, okay, where this comes from is there was different types of World War plans, early 1900s, that were proposed and how they were going to go about doing things. Okay, so Albert Pike is the godfather of the free Masonic lodges. Okay, they actually have him buried in Washington D.C.'s Masonic lodge, like he's revered as the father of Masonhood. Okay, you'll see that he has this proposal of the 3 world wars, okay? And he breaks down this article claims, blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day, the gathering of, okay? So there's some Bible scripture in here, but what we're really looking for is right here. We shall, and this is the important part, this is one of the things in the letter that we need to pay close attention to right here, guys. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a great social cataclysm, which in all its horror will show clearly to all nations the effect of absolute atheism, the origins of savagery, and of most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere the people will be forced to defend themselves against the world minority of the world revolutionaries, and will exterminate those destroyers of civilizations, and the multitudes disillusioned with Christianity, whose spirit will be from that moment without direction and leadership, and anxious for an ideal. Okay, but without knowledge where to send its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of pure doctrine, or Lucifer, brought finally out into public view. Manifestation which will result from a general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism both, conquered and exterminated at the same time. Okay, so you can go and research this stuff on your own. The particular letter that's involved is it's a real thing. It actually exists. Now, whether it's Albert Pike's letter or not, doesn't really have much to do with the fact that if you were to go into any search engine right now and search for nihilist, let's just break down the definition of that real quick. One who believes in nothing, one who advocates the metaphysical doctrine of nihilism. Okay, we'll copy that, right? We'll check the definition of that as well, right? One who rejects all the positive beliefs upon which existing society and governments are founded. One who demands the abolition of existing social and political order of things. Okay, specifically an adherent of nihilism, a member of Russian secret society which aims at the overthrow of the existing order of things, social, political, and religious, a Russian anarchist, a revolutionary reformer. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to see nihilism. Okay, let's go look at the definition of nihilism real quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about here, because I'm about to break this down. Okay, a viewpoint that traditionally values and beliefs are unfounded, and that existence is senseless and useless. I want you to think about how they're portraying the political system in the United States of America, the current leaders of the United States of America, how they've painted this picture over the past couple of months that democracy's failing, and the financial markets are failing, and crypto's failing, and now you see all of our industrial all of our industrial manufacturing and everything else is all corrupted, and it's anti-environmental, and it's adverse to with the proposition and promoting of climate change in the background. Okay, so these are all part of their lock and step ideas for the New World Order. Okay, and what's been going on here. Now, this is what I want you to really pay attention to. So, if you don't know, if you go into any search browser and you put a word and you utilize these quotation marks, as I've done in this particular search, okay? Let's make it a little bigger so everybody can see. I want you guys to really see what's going on here. This is the underground search, okay, that they utilize to see how their agenda is playing out amongst each other, okay? So you search the word nihilists in quotation, right? And look at all these current news stories from just the past couple of days, right? You got all this stuff going on. All this stuff. Nihilists in the driver's seat, Israel's 9/11, what now? Okay. An attempt to rescue nihilists, right? That was 38 days ago. Okay. So I want you to see that this isn't just like speculation, these words, these particular terms and terminology and the definitions of it, how it actually applies in real time to what's going on now. Okay. So when we were talking about Albert Pike, right? I want you to understand, like, these are the rulers of darkness. Okay. Some of these people here, this is their intention, okay? If you want to pause that and take some time to read that, okay? If you're one of these people that believe in this particular sect or religion, you'll see that, you know, the ones in charge of these religions, the ones in charge of these political organizations and governments are the ones that are controlling the narrative and lockstepping inside of the agendas that they have in place, guys, okay? Again, here's the key word, okay? Maybe you're one of them and you don't realize it, but you are part of the problem. You are not part of the solution. So let's just go ahead and get up out of here, okay? Here's that map, okay? It was actually given out in 1952, New World Order map for foreign troop patrol map, okay? Throughout the entire world, what it's going to look like. If you were to break it down, you probably see that a lot of that is either occurring or is about to occur on our land and other lands throughout the world, right? This was published in the Times, UK in 1952. Okay, 1952, and it's playing out in real time right now. Okay, so we'll get into that some more in another broadcast, but I just wanted to bring this here up. This I found in Trove, which is like a way for you to find newspaper articles from the past. Okay, and in the Australian newspaper on September 23rd, okay, of 1952, they actually had an article in here, which is called, let's make it big so people can see it, right? What's it say here, guys? What's it say? Oh, I'm making it too small. Hold on. Let me get it straightened out here because we're having some problems here. Okay. Okay, so it says, Plan, World Government, London, September 23rd, AAP parliamentarians from 25 countries are meeting in London to plan world government. They have received a message from the Look, now pay attention to this one. They have received a message from the Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Nehru, warning them that they faced the alternative of world cooperation or world disaster. Okay? I want you to look at all the different people that you see the names of within our government that are controlling different aspects of this new world order that's occurring, okay? And how they have this particular Indian names to them. Okay, and I've done the name game where we've traced them back and we've seen what the real meanings of their names are, whether they were appointed to those positions or, you know, whether it's some kind of huge coincidence that's going on. Okay, so we played the name game with these people and we've done this, guys. So let's go ahead and jump over here. Okay, we mentioned September 23rd. I'm going to be getting into this within the next 24 hours. I'm going to be releasing a special broadcast that has to do with all of the latest things that are going on. Okay, so real quick, before I get into why I'm doing this September 23rd, I just want you to see that there was different types of photographs that were published in regards to these latest worldwide attacks that are occurring, right? And some of these photographs, as well as our current epidemics that are going on, okay? These epidemics here, right? This is the news, guys, okay? This is what you guys should be paying attention to, not what they're telling you to pay attention to, okay? This is real news, new news now. Your host, the Revelator. Now, as you'll see, okay, you've got West Nile going on in Spain, avian flu going on in America. You've got the hantavirus in Bolivia, okay? You got all kinds of stuff going on in Mexico as far as these bird flus, okay? Found in wild ducks, okay? You got foot and mouth disease rearing its head again. That's over in Vietnam. Okay, but these are the ones I want you to pay close attention to. Okay, you see this one here, this encephalitis. Okay, that's one of the ones that's huge right now on a worldwide level. Okay, and then this other one is dengue hemorrhagic fever. Okay, that is going on over and over and over again, and now we have it here. Okay, we had a few cases over the past couple weeks in America, but now we've got 32 cases confirmed in Florida. Okay, and there's cases confirmed all around the country and the world. Okay, let's just take a minute to let them fly, guys. Okay, taking a look at this, right? All right, so you guys are getting the idea of what I'm trying to portray here, that these things are real and that they're actually going on. This one here is of most interest. Okay, this was 6 days ago. Maryland reports first traveler-related case of rare, very deadly tick-borne Powassan virus. Person who died was infected in Canada and returned to Maryland. Not transmitted person to person. But where does it come from? It comes from tick-borne illness. It's a tick-borne illness, okay? Here it is. You can go look up these cases yourself. Look at the particular tick that they're showing here, okay? And I've broken this down a little bit in my previous broadcast, okay? So you can see it's got the tick and it's got this yellow dot on the dead center of its back, right? And then we showed you this again, okay? Because I want you guys to see this while I go ahead and show you this, okay? Let's get rid of this, get rid of this. We're going to go right here. Okay, now, in this iPet Goat 2 video, you'll notice several things. One of the things that you're going to notice is that there is an issue going on with oil during the Scorpio, but the time of Scorpio, which is what we're just passing through now, okay, which is what is to come, okay. Gasoline, as I mentioned in the beginning of this broadcast, is going to become an issue for the Western world, okay? Not for Russia, not for Iran, not for Saudi Arabia, but for the Western world countries. Gasoline and oil is going to become an issue. A lot of the oil already is an issue in Europe because of the fact that they get a lot of their stuff from Russia. Germany and a lot of other countries are going to suffer immensely because of these alleged opposing sides in this world war that's occurring, right? So you got that going on, right? But remember the two other things that I showed you, right? We're going to break this down. I'm going to break this whole movie down tonight. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to get it out to you guys before this solar eclipse occurs, because I have a feeling that this solar eclipse is going to be a major, major issue. Okay, so as you can see, there's explosions, there's rockets shooting off. Seems very familiar with today's headlines, right? Very, very familiar, right, with today's headlines, right? Then you've got birds flying out. Okay, birds are flying out, which we saw the avian flus and the different types of bird flus that are on the rise around the world right now, okay? Like I said before, a whole lot of unrelated situations that couldn't quite possibly be connected to the overall agenda that they have lock and step marching forward with, okay? Now, so here's the kid laying on the ground, okay? And watch this particular type of bug. People thought it was a scarab beetle in the past and all this, but I've alluded to the fact that this is how they're going to infect a lot of the population with their newest weapons, okay? Take a look. There it is. That's a tick, guys. That's a tick. That's not a scarab beetle. That's a tick that you're seeing there, okay? And he's very sick from it, okay? So now with this rising sun, this eclipsed sun that you see in his eyeballs, I'm going to be breaking this all down in the iPet Go 2. It's coming, right? But, you know, like you see, I got the solar eclipse counter above my head. There's a reason why that's like something that I'm paying very close attention to. We're trying to get this content out so you guys can see what's going on, okay? So let's get rid of that, right? Let's get rid of this guy, right? Let's go all the way back over here, okay? So as I stated clearly before, okay, and a lot of people are ignoring my they're not heeding my warnings, okay? 1,600-mile swath of the U.S., right? Disruption and spoil outdoor plants for tens of millions in the heartland and in the Northeast over the weekend. Now, here's the thing, though, right? While this is all going on, okay, you've got mosquitoes and you've got ticks and all these other things that are being, they're actually developing and coming forward now. These environments are very, very, very conducive to breeding these particular types of insects, okay? For some reason right now, down in this area where he's circling, that's where I live, okay? You're going to see that he circled it, and there's a lot going on. There's a really, really crazy amount of humidity going on right behind these rain systems. So my speculation is that this is going to be, they dried us out, they're going to burn us out, right? They're going to bring trees down on people's houses, and the ones that aren't affected on those kind of levels are going to be infected. They're going to be infected by these insects. Huge. Okay, so real quick, just to like reconfirm again, for those that don't know, okay, they modify and create the weather, and this is how they do it. So they have these different forest fires going on all around the continental United States, okay, and then we've always seen these clouds being pushed in certain areas because this is an easy way to cloud seed, okay. You've got cloud seeding going on down here, which is creating these storms over here, okay. Then you've got cloud seeding going on here, which is creating all those storms that we just witnessed him pointing out here. Okay, and we're going back to the map now so you can see. We'll put it on something that, you actually can see it and it makes, better sense to you. Okay. See how the smoke is feeding these storm systems? Okay. Talking about severe storm systems coming your way. Up here, we have a Lando cane going on so that we can constantly keep bringing back the moisture into the Northeast corridor, all these areas that are flooded and, the dams that are going to that could possibly break. Okay, I've spoke about that before in my previous broadcasts. Okay, pretty unusual. Okay, we've had a lot of power outages in the state of California. We're back. We're down to 14,000. It was 36,000 3 days ago, or 39,000. Now we're down to 14,000. But now, Florida's on the rise. Okay, we've got 7,000 out in Florida. My power was out yesterday. I would have brought you this broadcast then, but unfortunately, I didn't have power to do that. Okay, and then you see all along the corridor here, right? What do we got here in Georgia? A lot of power outages. Okay, these are where the storms are heading. They're heading in this direction. Okay, if you go up here to New York, you'll see that there's 1,300. Not really too significant, not anything really worth talking about, right? We'll go all the way around. Okay, so we got the state of Washington. They got 4,600 out. That's pretty high. Nothing really too significant. Down here in Texas, another target zone for them, right? Where there's a lot of red-blooded, gun-toting Americans walking around, okay? You got 6,900 people, almost 7,000 people out without power. So I did predict that there's a strong possibility that they're going to utilize earthquakes as a means of creating the dams to break, okay? Especially in the New York region and the Hoover Dam and several other dams we're keeping close watch over, okay? So the ground is saturated with lots of water right now. So let's just go ahead and, this is from 3 days ago. As you can see, this is Dutch Sense's YouTube page, okay? You can go and follow him, okay? We'll click on his thing real quick here. So that's the page you would be looking for. He does earthquake predictions, and this is what we're looking at right now, guys, okay? Hold on.
East of Geyser Peak.
Let's just get right on it. I believe it's, yeah, so it's right around here that he's talking about it. And if you'll notice right here on this map, this is from 3 days ago. Okay, so he predicted a few earthquakes. Let's get that out of the way. So this is what was occurring, right? So if you go over here to the latest USGS, you'll see that there was an earthquake that occurred right here. This was today, okay? This was 2.5, okay? Right at the furthest western corner of Texas, okay? So let's go back over to his map. As you can see, he predicted that there would be another one here and that other ones would occur, okay? But what's interesting is what he's about to say now, heading towards the Northeast Corridor region as the wave of the earthquakes go through the Craton Plate, okay? These are seismic waves that occur under the ground, okay? So
is dropping off same-sized earthquakes, 3.1, right? That struck yesterday into this morning, and a 3.1. The next step on this is a new 3.1, 3 to 3.1, to strike out in front as the wave keeps going. And we should see the East Coast get hit with a similar-sized earthquake in the next few days. Right now, you can see it's pretty dry up in the Northeast when it comes to seismic. When I say Northeast, I mean Virginia to D.C., as far north as the New York border with Quebec.
So now, not only did I predict that this is what would be utilized, but now we have the gentleman who is the earthquake forecaster. And if you go and look at just the past 2 days worth of posts that he's put on his YouTube channel, I think he's up to 8 confirmed for what he predicted. Okay, so I'm thinking that, the next one that comes is going to be the one that I keep talking about that they're going to utilize against us. Okay, we're going to watch for the dams to get broken. Okay, we're going to watch for more of this weather weapons being used against us to create stagnant water in areas for epidemics to occur. Okay, I want you guys to stay tuned. Go back and watch the solutions in how to get off the plantation. Okay, go back and watch the solutions on Food Forest episode 1010. Okay, know that there's programs coming to a neighborhood near you. Okay, I'm thinking these mosquitoes and the different types of ticks and mosquitoes. This Dengue, let me just go ahead and put it in here so you guys can see. Dengue hammer, right? So this is not a pretty thing, guys. This is not a pretty thing, okay? Symptoms and causes, okay? We all know that it comes from a mosquito bite, right? So let's just go ahead and see. This is not for everybody to look at, okay? This is going to be some horrific type stuff, okay? See, it comes from mosquitoes, right? This is what goes on, right? This is what it looks like when it occurs. The symptoms include, but are not limited to, febrile phase, sudden onset of fever, headaches, mouth and nose bleedings, okay? Muscle and joint pains, vomiting, rash, diarrhea, okay? Critical phase for this is hypotension, pleural effusion, ascites, gastrointestinal bleeding, guys. Okay, this is very, very scary, okay? Recovery phases, altered level of consciousness, seizures, itching, and slow heart rate, okay? People that have pre-existing conditions and get bit by a mosquito, okay, and develop this are not going to have a good time. This is going to be very bad, very, very bad for people. I want you guys to be on the alert, be on the lookout for these type of things in your neighborhood. If it starts occurring, please take precautionary measures. Okay, that includes things like dumping out stagnant water, okay, on your property. That includes maybe spraying a little bit. Try to use all natural pesticides. Okay, let's not spray more chemicals onto the environment that we have to live in. Okay, so these are the kind of things we have to look out for. We're looking out for skeeters. We're looking out for ticks. We're looking out for false flag attacks that are live drills. Actually, we're looking out for earthquakes, cracking dams, and flooding regions. Okay, we're looking for power outages. We're looking for trees to come down. We're looking for all these types of things that all seemingly seem unrelated, but are definitely lock and step with their agenda. Please pay attention to the solar eclipse. Now, I'm not saying anything's going to happen on that day or the day before, the day after, but I will say this. They are known to utilize these high occultic days in their practices of sacrifice. Okay, I want you guys to be prepared. I want you to have a plan. Okay, make sure that everyone in your family is prepared and that they have plans. Okay, and stay tuned because I'm coming back. I got a couple of projects that I'm working on. I'm going to be releasing the part 2 to the movie screenings for Jones's Plantation by Larkin Rose and all those great people that were involved with the movie production over there. And then we're going to be offering more solutions in those type of broadcasts. And then we also have, I'm putting on the agenda to break down the book of Revelations. I think it's time for people to actually see what's really going on with that book and how the dark occultists have hijacked it and are using it as a script to play out in real time. They've used it against people that were white hats. Okay, but first and foremost, I'm going to continue with the breakdown of the series for the iPet Goat 2, because I think that if you guys can't see this stuff playing out in real time on the news as we speak, I don't know what to tell you. So stay tuned. If you haven't done it already, please like, follow, comment, subscribe. I don't want to be right. I definitely want to be wrong. So stay tuned, guys.